Hi everyone, in this book talk I will be applying the Fosterian elements of quest and communion to the summer reading novel I chose, The Bonesetter's Daughter by New York Times bestselling author Amy Tan. The book was published on February 19, 2001. The novel centers around the relationship between Ruth, a Chinese-American woman, and her mother, Lu Ling, a Chinese immigrant. The novel is also separated into two main parts and switches from Ruth's point of view to Lu Ling's point of view very often. The first Fosterian element that I will be applying to the novel is the quest, which is explained in the first chapter of Thomas Foster's How to Read Literature Like a Professor. Foster explains that the structure of a quest typically includes A. a quester, B. a place to go, C. a stated reason to go there, D. challenges and trials en route, and E. the reason to go there. He highlights the fact that the real reason for a quest never involves a stated reason. Instead, the real reason for a quest is always self-knowledge. The first example of this Fosterian element takes place when Lu Ling is going to Peking to potentially arrange her marriage. In this example, the quester is Lu Ling, who is also barely a teenager in this part of the story. The place to go is Peking, and the stated reason is to meet with the family of her potential husband to arrange her marriage. However, she encounters multiple challenges, such as being unable to take care of herself. She finds that she doesn't even know how to comb her own hair, she has no clothes to wear, and has no way to keep up her personal hygiene. Regardless, Lu Ling continues to believe that she is fully capable of taking care of herself and considers herself an adult. Lu Ling's quest really ends after she returns home and receives the marriage proposal that she wanted. However, after her rash decision to marry, Precious Auntie dies, and Lu Ling realizes that she isn't an adult yet. She is totally incapable of taking care of herself, and she still needs Precious Auntie, but it's too late. Lu Ling re-embarks on a different quest when she is given the chance to go to America. On this quest, Lu Ling is the quester. The place is America, and the stated purpose is to accompany Miss Grodoff to America. The very first of many obstacles Lu Ling faces is the fact that she misses the opportunity to go first, and Gao Ling takes it instead. This results in Lu Ling having to live in a state of limbo for multiple years, in horrible conditions in Hong Kong, where she shared small apartments with people, nearly got tuberculosis, worked as a maid, and was continuously harassed by Funan. Eventually, Gao Ling found a way for her sister to come to America, but in the meantime, Lu Ling discovered how to be independent and established a strong work ethic. Forrester also describes that some quests are never completed and maybe even never started. An example of this unfinished quest is present throughout the novel as Lu Ling attempts and promises to one day find Precious Auntie's bones and bury them. In this quest, the quester is again Lu Ling. The place to go is the end of the world, and the stated reason to go is to give Precious Auntie the proper funeral that she deserves. However, various challenges and circumstances yet again get in the way of her completing her task. First, Lu Ling is physically unable to find the bones after searching for a full day after Precious Auntie died. After her passing, Lu Ling was kicked out of her home and had to leave her village. When Lu Ling came to America, she made multiple promises and statements that she would one day return to the end of the world and find her mother's bones, but due to her duties as a mother and her growing dementia, she was unable to complete the quest. Despite this, Lu Ling learned the truth about Precious Auntie being her mother, learned to cherish her, and looked to her spirit for guidance constantly. The second element that I've applied to The Bonesetter's Daughter is communion. Forrester explains that whenever people eat or drink together, it is an act of communion. He states, quote, "The act says, I'm with you, I share this moment with you, I feel a bond of community with you," end quote. Despite this, Forrester also explains that if a well-run meal or snack signifies good things for a community, then the failed meal stands as a bad sign. One such instance of a failed meal in the novel takes place the night of the full moon festival, when Ruth is the dinner host. The dinner was doomed before it began as Ruth's partner's Art's ex-wife invites herself and her family to dinner. This causes Ruth to be frazzled before she even gets a shot at being a good and confident host. Once the night actually begins, it is chaotic from the start. Tan pulls the reader into the reality of the meal by detailing the chaos of a bustling restaurant, uncomfortable exchanges with family members, an uninvited guest, and upset teenagers. There is a firm sense of tension and an us against them moments at the dinner, as all the non-Chinese guests sit at one table and the Chinese guests sit at the other. All of these events in conjunction with each other definitely deems it a failure. Another example of a failed dinner is when Lu Ling, Ruth's mother, has dinner with Ruth's partner Art, and his moody teenage daughters. Similar to the Full Moon Festival, this dinner was doomed before it even began. Ruth and her mother had just gone back from the doctor's appointment where Lu Ling had been diagnosed with dementia, and Ruth was finding any possible excuse to not believe the diagnosis. At dinner, she lies and tells Art that Lu Ling has, or may have, depression, even though deep down she definitely knows that her mother has severe dementia and is in severe denial. This signifies distrust between her relationship with Art, and she is unable to confide her deepest fears and emotions with him truthfully, as one should be able to do with their partner. Then, Art's teenage daughters completely skip out on dinner because they already ate, and are plain disrespectful to Lu Ling, while their father does nothing to correct them and leaves the lecturing to Ruth, which causes an even bigger rift between her and the girls. Overall, this dinner is just a culmination of all Ruth's problems. An unhappy relationship with Art, an inability to connect and be accepted by Art's daughters, and refusal to face the truth about her mother's worsening condition. Despite all the failures, Ruth is finally able to have a successful dinner with Art at the very end of the novel. At this point in the novel, Ruth has come to terms with her mother's condition and has found peace with the childhood trauma that she had gone through, making her more confident in herself and ready to love. At dinner, Ruth and Art are able to mentally go back to the place they were at in the beginning of their relationship. They are finally able to share a loving moment with each other and renew the bond of companionship they once had. After dinner, it's like their slate has been wiped clean of any distrust they previously had in their relationship, and Ruth finally opens herself up to Art like she used to when they first met. This successful dinner signified the new beginning in their relationship. As you can see, in many instances throughout the novel The Vonesetter's Daughter by author Amy Tan, she uses Fosterian elements such as quest and communion that give the reader an even clearer and deeper understanding of the story. Without a doubt, these elements heighten my reading experience, and I hope they did the same for you.